everybody. Welcome back for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. We are here in the Washed Media Studios, brought to you by Washed Media. And we're where we always are, actually. I mean, it's the Washed Media Studios, but it's also the intersection of style and pop culture. We got a little bit of both for you today. I'm your host, Barrett Dudley, joined by Mr. Phil Battaglia.
Hey, man.
Phil, what's good?
Chilling.
Yeah? Just exploring some of Austin's finest homes, it would see.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to get on this guy's Instagram, man. He is, it's house porn recently.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you at P Batag, if you just want to see some, he's just an Austin real estate agent out here closing deals and slanging houses. Mm-hmm. That's
hopefully, closing deals. Nothing's closed yet.
When
Philbattaglia.realtor is the real account that I suggest you follow.
Okay. Are you loading all these same shots onto that account?
Yeah, I just want to keep them on both because I have the little highlights going on my account.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it like if you're a realtor in Austin these days, is having a social media presence like an absolute necessity?
You'd be shocked the amount of marketing and free traffic that you get.
Yeah.
I mean, I've picked up a client from it.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Somebody you and I both know, but still.
Yeah. And if you sell somebody a house, do you post with them like cracking champagne at the new spot?
No, I'm not that guy. I don't do
right.
the big key
closing
day.
Because I've definitely seen some of that on my feed.
Now I will take a photo. I'm still working on that. But
yeah.
If it's typically done, I promise you I'm not gonna.
It looks like you got your new headshot in though.
I did. So that guy, Eric Peterson, I believe is his last name. Shout out to him, dude. Did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic. Because I do not look that good, and he made me look much better.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're going with these like. I'm serious though. You post these pictures on the gram, and I'm just like, I'll take it. But with these listings like this that are look like they should be on the Sunset reality show or whatever it's called, Sunset Strip. Are these listings shared listings?
Yeah. So it is.
Like is it like a free for all? Like whoever can sell it first.
No. They're exclusive to one realtor. That would be the listing agent.
Okay.
And that might, that being said, some of those people are on teams, so they'll send. A lot of times they'll send an assistant to show the house because they've got other things to do.
Okay.
But it's wild, dude. It's a whole nother world getting into that luxury market than what I've been doing. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Seeing how the other half lives, Barrett.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. As somebody that is going through the exercise of like costing out just what stuff costs to do in a house, whether it's renovations or furnishings or updates or just anything, it's just all so wildly expensive. And like I've always known that. Like I've always known that if you it's not just about being able to afford the $1 million house, right? But then you have to furnish the $1 million house. Then it needs decoration and art and furniture and like everything else. And we haven't even gotten into Texas property taxes, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's so much more than only needing to be able to cut the check for the mortgage. Like it's
wild.
It's wild. And the stuff so we're trying to do some backyard updates right now. And like we're probably gonna just do this little patio extension with pavers and decomposed granite.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it ourselves, but there's another look that you can go for, which is you have somebody come out and do like the larger pavement cement squares.
Yes.
But that requires somebody like framing out the cement, pouring it, and then smoothing it over. And for a little 10 by 20, and this is Austin, so we're in a unique space here because it's a small city, but a super hot city, but it has a lot of outdoor stuff. Like nobody who's putting this in New York City? Nobody.
Right.
Nobody has 10 by 20 in a backyard in New York City. So it's this weird thing that like only exists here, and I don't know, maybe in like in the
there's just
weird parts of California.
So much demand for
anything. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
there's so much demand.
If you're in Houston or Dallas or even Los Angeles,
there's
a million options.
We're
limited here. It's tight. The supply and demand is just different here. Anyway, 10 by 20 space to get these big concrete pavers instead of just like going to Home Depot and buying some 18-inch square ones. $4,500.
Yeah. Dude, and does that
10 by 20.
That includes everything, labor.
Yeah. But that's
a lot, man.
So
I thought you were gonna say 3,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's even crazy.
And that's still I mean, you just talk like I'm still just boggled by all this stuff that like just how much people look, man. In this next era going forward, where I think everybody's kind of figured out at this point that college is kind of a joke. You go to college for the experience if you can afford it, and if you can't, it's stupid and pointless, and you should never take on those loans because it doesn't do shit for you. But get a trade, man. Yeah, electricians,
plumbers,
construction, contracting.
Yeah,
learn how to do this shit outdoors because you're just naming your price these days on this.
And learn how to code first of all,
code.
Those dudes kill it. I'm sure you can figure that out. I'm totally ignorant to it, but
no, you can teach yourself. I just met a girl a few weeks ago. We were hanging out watching a UT football game, and she's a coder. She's like a full stack engineer for a tech company here. Taught herself. Does not have a CS degree.
Yeah,
and
got hired.
Totally in demand.
Yeah,
absolutely. Could jump ship, switch companies. These places can't find enough engineers. It's insane.
We're here in the Silicon Hills.
Anyway, moral of the story, don't go to college. Or just go live in a college town and pretend you go to college and then join some clubs so you can have the fun.
Yeah.
But don't pay for school.
Tune in, turn on, drop out. That's the motto.
But yeah. Anyways, enough academia.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild out there, man. People have a lot of money in this town.
They do.
They really do. And there's some beautiful homes.
Beautiful homes.
For the taking.
Yep. Well, in other exciting news, Phil, we've reached 200 patrons as of yesterday.
Fantastic.
We hit our milestone.
It's happened.
Which means that we're obligated to bring back the hotline because that's what I said that we would do. So please stay tuned. I will be posting the hotline number via various social media and Patreon channels. And maybe I can figure out how to drop the number into the description of the podcast here as well that we're going to release today. It's Friday. Now, the thing is, I switched credit cards. Like I had to get a new one a few months ago.
That's a bitch.
And so I've lapsed in my payment to the hotline company, to the company that I pay monthly for the phone number. So I'm going to have to get back with them and
the number might be
fire
gone.
Back up.
What is the number?
I don't even remember. I feel like I tried to be
clever?
something cool.
Yeah. What if it's just
XYZ cool? Number? But it might just be a random number. I will figure it out and I will let you know. But we will be opening up the hotline. Now, here's the important thing for the patrons. We can't let it slip under 200 now. So don't leave us high and dry, baby.
Otherwise, that hotline's getting shut back down.
It's getting shut right back down.
Shut it down.
So looking forward to seeing what we get on the hotline here pretty soon, and we'll have an episode before long. Speaking of Patreon, I just put out an editorial, which is so I went on Sunday Scaries and I did my fall items Mount Rushmore. You gave yours. We had some very similar ones. So for Patreon, I dropped a little editorial. For the 4 items, I gave you 3 choices: a save, a splurge, and a middle ground. So if you want to check that out, patreon.com/clubcool. And I think I've got a bunch of cool stuff just kind of hanging out in my cart and in my 4,000 tabs. Here's, if you can see here, that's just one of my windows.
Look at all those tabs.
So I'm gonna do. We'll get you another one because I think I might have actually missed one in September. So you get 2 in October. But I've got some cool stuff to put on another one here to pump out before Halloween. Other small notes. What else? Oh yeah. So there's Aimé drop 2 was early access yesterday. Normal drop today, and great stuff as always. But the hype around this brand seems to be reaching supreme levels. and it's obviously it's like one of these feelings. It's tough. It's your favorite band that you knew about before, or that you felt like you were early on becoming a huge arena level brand.
Sure.
But it raises a few questions for me that I wanted to talk about here. My first question is, when you're buying clothing, whether it's low end, high end, somewhere in between, what are your thoughts on are you paying attention to country of origin very closely? Does it make you feel one way if it's made in the USA or another way if it's made in China or made in India?
No.
So you don't care?
I don't. I probably should, but I don't. If I like it and I think it'll work well for me, then
yeah,
it's coming home.
Okay. But so but as far as the price point, do you feel like you should pay more for made in US, less for made in overseas at all?
No.
Okay.
I
So
don't. I
it
think
really boils down to all the other stuff before.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because overseas can make some incredible garments just like
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
can here. So
Yeah, I think the difference for me is that I know for a fact that it costs less. The labor costs less overseas than it does in the U.S.
Right.
So with this new ALD drop, we had a lot of beautiful tailoring, some really heavy coats, camel hair stuff. There's some patchwork stuff. It's all 100% wool. It's very. This is luxe stuff. The kind of suiting look. The notch lapel overcoats are fully canvassed, which is a very that is a huge extra step in the production process. And so when these coats come in and they're all over $1,500, I don't have any type of sticker shock with that.
Yeah,
because that's what expensive tailoring made in the U.S. of fine fabrics costs. But then we get down to some of the other stuff, like there's the wool overshirts, and there's the the woven cotton, the 4-pocket plaid thing. That's the one piece that I grabbed. It was my favorite piece of the season. The thing I had to have at full price. But some of this other stuff, they're items that I believe that Aimé was making in the States prior to a year ago. And I've even the carpenter denim that I have from them from spring was made in Italy. I've now learned that their spring versions, or I'm sorry, their fall versions are made in China. So
is that in this drop?
The carpenters?
Yeah.
No, they were drop one. They sold out super quick. But so and then I wanted to talk these Casentino wool overshirts. This is like a boiled nubby wool that they've used in the past. And I have the big track jacket version that kind of has like the color blocking on it from fall 17. That jacket was made in New York City out of this same Casentino wool. And I got it for an incredible price, obviously well before like Aimé was as hyped as it was. But that thing retailed for $750, $795.
Ooh.
And now we're here with the Casentino wool overshirts. They're made in India, not made in the States, and we're at $500 for this thing.
Right.
So it's just a little. I'm the first person to tell you that overseas garments can be of equal or better quality than ones made in the States. It's not about quality to me. It's just about I know that this costs less to make.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for a brand like Aimé. They're scaling up. They got super expensive Soho real estate to pay for. These marketing campaigns that they're doing are costing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. They're doing all sorts of like high-end modeling and the Porsche collab and like everything else that they've got going. All the web development, the Instagram, the social feeds, like all this stuff is like wildly expensive. So to scale, to put out more product, to get your costs down, moving some production overseas makes a lot of sense. It just does make these prices, you just scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah.
A little, where you're like, well, I know you moved this. I know these didn't used to be made overseas, and now the prices are not staying the same really, but they're actually going up. Now to that end, this shit's flying off the shelves, man. They can't keep anything in stock. It's wild that the stuff is selling out like it is. Just, $400-$500 shirts, $500 sweaters, like everything is flying. It does make me wonder if, and I can't quite tell if this is because the brand has reached such a new level of hype, or if it's because they, like many brands, including the one that I work for, were able to pull back on their fall 20 orders a little bit with the uncertainty surrounding pandemic shopping habits, which, as it turns out, it hasn't really slowed people shopping. Online businesses, online shopping and online clothing, by and large, is doing very well. So this has been an interesting season because they've clearly made some scaling moves. Cut costs, grow, make more product, like get their finances in order, and at the same time, the hype is bigger than it ever has been. So they're moving through product. And I don't know, right now it kind of feels like this is Supreme but double the price.
Yeah, and much more stylistic than Supreme. This is a whole nother level.
So that's the next thing that I want to talk about. So
you picked up the woven plaid overshirt, is that right?
Yeah, it's this 4-pocket thing.
Have you received it
right here? No, I picked it up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll have it at some point next week.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I think the weight on that is going to be really soft.
Yes, I agree.
Not too heavy.
And we'll talk about this a little bit later when we get into some boot talk. But I think Western is a trend that has been kind of bubbling for a while now, and I think it's about to be in like full effect. And this feels kind of, I can make this kind of like Southwestern-y and Western with the big patch pockets on it like that. Like,
remember when Vedmont did the whole like cowboy thing in one of their shows and had those tight ass jeans with Vedmont printed across the crotch? Yeah.
Yeah, it's popped up in designer stuff before, but I get the sense that it's about to blow. So yeah, to your point, that's the other interesting part about this is that, like, it's not surprising when Aimé is selling out of big logo graphics and hats, and hoodies, and then accessories. People are all about the accessories, like the Aimé slip mats, these, and the mugs, the candles. Like, these went quick. The ashtray, because that all follows suit with a brand like Supreme.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Where people are collectors of the accessories. But when the cut and sew pieces and the sweaters and the mohair cardigans, when that stuff is flying like it is, that's interesting. And I was talking to a friend about this the other day. Like, I've got more insight into this brand than I ever have before because I'm into the Discord, listening to, a bunch of other big fans of the brand talk about it. And for me, I came to ALD from like a very contemporary, like, stylistic place, right? Like I was bringing in these clothes to wear with the other stuff I was wearing, like John Elliott, APC, Acne, Rag and Bone. We're talking like Barney's, Essence, Mr. Porter stuff, right? And then even J. Crew or whatever else, like in the Bonobos, like, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the fans of this brand now, they didn't come from that place. They came from Kith, Supreme, Noah,
right?
Like where it wasn't so, where it's more about almost like the hype and the collecting aspect of it, as opposed to the getting dressed up aspect of it. So to that degree, if Aimé has like combined these two things and essentially is teaching the hype boys how to dress, I can't really complain about that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So just more power to them if they're able to move through all of these kind of wildly expensive pieces here. But it's also possible that this is a little bit pandemic related and that the stock is pretty low this season because they weren't sure. Okay. Last thing on ALD here. I've got these the New Balance collaboration, the 550. ALD brought this silhouette back. It's apparently about to drop in a bunch of GR colorways and styles as well. And this is a certified shoe that is allowed to appear on your Explore page, on the For You Explore page on Instagram. You can get these off with like some splattered paint, Carhartt denims, and some and a baggy hoodie and a tote bag. By the way, did you notice that I'm in my? I'm wearing some Carpenters in my Dunks today.
You gonna get a pick off or what?
Probably. How can I not when I'm wearing this stuff? Coming to the Explore page very soon. So I don't know what to think about these quite yet.
Dude, they're chunky.
They're chunky.
They're stiff.
They're stiff. They're supposed to be basketball shoe. It's supposed to be like a vintage basketball shoe.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what. Every time I put these on, what I actually think they look like is a golf shoe.
Yes, dude.
Tell me these don't look like a golf
Absolutely.
like a FootJoy.
Yeah. Dude, these are sturdy.
So
let me see the back of that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
tongue is nice. Got the
they're cool. They came with the white laces, but they got the cream and the green in addition.
See, like if you could get this to stay up,
mm-hmm.
or just at least up a little bit, that's really chunky and like foamy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the look is very, I don't know. It's old school. It's vintage. It's retro. But when I slip these on, I get some kind of orthopedic vibes. And
yeah.
But also big time golf, like FootJoy golf spike.
Yeah.
It's just it's that toe. It's that toe that's doing
For sure, dude. And I imagine looking down at that on your feet.
So, and that's the other weird thing is that side profile. Very clean, very cool.
Yeah.
Looking down on them,
I hate that.
Is not as much fun.
I agree, dude. That's how I feel about those Vejas or whatever the hell they're.
Oh, you don't like looking down on them?
I don't like looking down.
So, speaking of all these bonus laces, this is Jordan 1s are all coming with like 3 pairs of laces now. We've reached peak lace hype because now there are companies like Foxtrot Uniform that are selling out of $16 laces as the minute they drop.
And the site isn't even live yet.
No. That's their little thing is that so they're going to have some new laces coming out. They put the timer on the site. 2 days, 12 minutes.
Good for them. What a nice little niche they've carved out.
And what they did, I don't your Explore page is different than mine, but one of the things that's the 1985, the original Jordan 1s, like people are just like, Jordan 1 is at an all-time high, but especially the 1985.
Yes.
Like the super vintage thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are now, there are like customizers out there that are taking modern Jordan 1s and giving them a vintage process.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like yellowing the soles, kind of scrubbing up the suede a little bit. They're making them look very vintage. And that's where these laces come in because these 1985 Jordan 1s end up with these like kind of really cool lace fades.
Yes.
Where it's like they've almost been tie-dyed in an effect. So like okay, yeah. So like here we go.
Those are cool.
And so Foxtrot has basically figured out how to kind of replicate that fade look. And they're doing some of these classic colors, plus they're doing the cream laces, which are really hot. And then, they're doing oranges for dunks and for unions and all sorts of stuff. But just one more thing that you've got to pay attention to through a drop. If you're not doing drops, you're not selling anything.
You don't matter.
You don't matter these days.
The lace drop.
The lace drop. So that's something that I needed to hit on to hit on. What else did I have here up top? The laces. I think that's about it. Yeah. You guys aren't watching Bachelorette, are you?
No.
Okay.
That show makes me cringe.
Just blow right through that. There was some controversy over some nudity and some male nudity.
They're running out of content.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. Let me just ask you this: if you were on The Bachelorette, would you be offended by having to play a sports game that involved stripping down to nothing?
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. Is that what one of the games is?
Would you? What about just jockstrap? Would you go just jockstrap?
Jockstrap? Who wears a jockstrap? What happened? Just tell me.
Okay. All right. This is Bachelorette, so a bunch of male contestants fighting for the one woman.
I get the premise.
Okay, right. They had to play dodgeball, and Claire made them play strip dodgeball. The Bachelorette makes them play strip dodgeball. So every time they lose a game, they got to take a piece of clothing off, and they're in these little red and blue uniforms. So they've been given the little red and blue jock straps, plus the tank tops and shorts, everything like that.
Okay.
So at the end, the one team loses. They're down to these jock straps, and then she's like, "Okay, now take it off." And so, of course, look, these are a bunch of dudes that are on a reality TV show. Several of them just go buck naked immediately.
course.
They're exhibitionists. Why not? This is a chance to let it all hang out.
It's a chance to get famous.
And one of them is like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And Claire is like, it's fine. You don't have to go all the way. She's just pushing you. She's just seeing what these guys will do and what they won't do. One of the contestants who's not involved on this date is very, very heated about this whole thing. He finds it humiliating and degrading, and he's going to go out in flames this this next episode, defending the sanctity of these men. Thank God, you know they have so much integrity as it is. We better protect it. And then there was obviously like a lot of online hubbub, bordering on outrage, that they made the guys get naked, essentially.
Right.
And I had the opposite take. I felt like everybody took this way too seriously, and they need to lighten up. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to be like, oh, well, just imagine if they made the girls do that. They'd never get away with it. But they make the girls parade around in bikinis and do photo shoots and have pool parties, and so we can see who has the best pout and the best butt and looks the best in a Cosmo magazine. They're constantly forced to do weird athletic activities and like skimpy clothing. Mm-hmm. Like, get over it, man. Like, what? We sexualize the women all day long. We can't have one episode where the dudes have to show some skin,
show some D.
I don't know. I just felt very unscandalized by the whole thing. Most of these dudes were more than happy to like whip it out, flang it around. I don't know.
It does. I'm not offended by any of that. I wouldn't be if you're on the show, you've already sold out completely.
Exactly.
So
you're a man that's going on a reality TV show where anything can happen and all things go. I for one was happy that there was a little, male sexualization.
Yeah, like we were talking about before.
I see T's and A's all day long. What's wrong with a little D?
Dude, you are a Twitch boy. See, this is what we were talking about before we came on air. Let's talk about the thirst trap that is now normalized in the Twitch. Not Twitch. What's it called? TikTok world.
Yeah, what the circling back guys covered this.
Oh, they did
heavy this week.
Okay.
The sway house, the hype house, the boys being sexy on TikTok.
Man,
doing lip bites and flexes and ab shows and what have you.
Man, those guys are terrible.
It's what I'm not sure what's more offensive to me, the male preening or the haircuts that they all have.
No,
I don't even know how you get that haircut. How do you could probably get that haircut, actually.
What is it?
You just need to let the front grow out,
yeah,
and then just like kind of hang in your face, but like only on your forehead. It can't come down past your eyebrows.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a butt cut, but only the front is like down in your. Nice. And you need wavy or curly hair. You can't do this if you have straight hair.
All right, well, maybe
because then you'll just look like Lloyd Christmas.
Man, those guys are something else.
Yeah, it's really, really weird for our generation to watch guys do this type of thing. Set thirst traps, be sexy, do the lip bite, like basically just like fawn over themselves, and then have the other guys not make fun of them for it, but in fact encourage and join along. It's very, very weird.
Oh, man. Delete that app.
I thought Trump already deleted it off my phone.
Oh, then maybe he did.
I think this is the real reason why he wanted it gone. He couldn't stand this Sway House.
Oh man! All right, I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Okay,
sorry.
All right, that's fine. We should probably take a quick break and hear from today's sponsor. Phil, recently I have decided that it's time to upgrade the personal self-care routine.
Yes.
And there was really only one option for me to make that all happen, and that was, of course, Hawthorne. If you have no idea where to start, or if you know a little bit and just need some great products, Hawthorne is perfect for both camps of people. Hawthorne is the premium, tailored personal care brand that's making it very easy for guys to feel and smell your best. You start with their quiz. They ask you things, everything about your skin type to your hair type to like what you like to do for a night out. Are you more of a bar guy? Are you more of a, friends at home guy? You more of a sports guy? How bad's your BO? All sorts of very important questions. Kind of get to know you, get to know what type of products will suit you best. It's actually very fun. I just like lists. I like quizzes. Even when it's Hawthorne, they just want to know me a little bit better, and I appreciate that. Man, I got a full kit of products, everything from shampoo and bath gel to deodorant, cologne, obviously, one for work, one for play. The fragrance is amazing. Not to mention, they've got a bunch of cool stuff like candles as well.
Yeah.
It all looks phenomenal too. It's going to upgrade your personal scent, but it's also going to upgrade the look of your place. So if you want to upgrade your self-care routine, Hawthorne is fun, convenient, super high-quality products tailored specifically for your needs. They even take the risk out of it by giving you free shipping on your order and your returns. If you don't like your products, they'll even retailer them for you based on your feedback. They actually did this for me.
Really?
I got the bath gel that I got.
Uh-huh.
The scent was like, it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
It smelled fine. It just wasn't exactly what I wanted. Boom, they got me something else that was perfect.
When I got my first box in, I did one of those in the shower where you just grab one end of the shelf and just wiped everything, all the old stuff off the shelf.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Get it right.
Got the new Hawthorne up there. Everything looks beautiful.
Uniformity is big. Everything matching is just a nice.
Yeah.
That's going to get your chi right, I think.
100%. My chi is peaking.
So do what me and Phil did. Take Hawthorne's quiz today and get started on your personalized self-care routine. Go to hawthorne.co. Use promo code CLUBCOOL to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co. The promo code is CLUBCOOL. Hawthorne.co. Promo code CLUBCOOL. 10% off your first purchase. Get your stuff looking right. Get your stuff smelling right. You're going to love it. Okay, Phil. Let me take a sip of water. You ready to talk about boots?
Giddy up.
Oh, producer Randy, he's all about new boot goofing.
Are you?
If you get a pair of new boots and you post on any type of soch and you don't use new boot goofing from Reno 911, I think you're doing it wrong. At the very least, you have to tell somebody that you're new boot goofing, even if you don't put that on your social media.
Okay.
You have to dance around in your boots and do that. What is
Dangle?
Dangle. Thank you.
That is a very underrated show.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Man, we went. They have some on demand. I don't know what seasons are on demand anymore, but we watched it recently.
Thomas Lennon as Lieutenant Dangle.
Oh, dude, everybody in that cast was great.
Nick Swartzen as that was like his come up.
Roller skates?
Yeah.
Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing HJs. Drive through HJs.
Yeah, good stuff, man. But also, hey, while we're like, that's like a Pantheon Halloween costume as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you just need a quick one, just a short police uniform, aviators, white boots, boom, you're Dangle.
You're in.
So boots is something that's been bubbling up. It's on the Discord. People have been talking about all sorts of boots on the Discord. You can get that link, by the way, if you just come follow us on Patreon. You might as well join. Everybody else is. And as we've been kind of talking about, like the new pant look and the new T-shirt look, and like kind of like what's different in 2020 versus last year or several years ago, it's time to kind of like dive into the footwear as well. And so I just kind of want to talk about what are the 2020 boot moves, and are they any different from the years past? So just to start it right off, the biggest thing for me now is size. It's essentially the main thing that's changed is the level of heft on the boots. It's basically moved from like very like sleek lace up, almost formal wear, like suited and booted type look. Very polished,
suited and booted,
leather soles. Very slim stuff. You had the Common Projects Chelseas, which have like a very low profile and thin crepe sole, very narrow foot, and everything else, like everything now, is just a little bit burlier, a little bit more bulbous, has a little bit more weight and substance to it, essentially. And that's kind of that's the biggest shift that you can make if you're looking to make a change. So it's not that that those sleeker versions don't still have a place if you want them to, especially if you are getting more formal with it. If you want a boot for a suit, it does need to be more polished and a little bit more streamlined. But just as everything is kind of loosened up, and we've obviously talked a lot about the relaxed silhouettes of pants that are more prevalent now. You've needed a boot that can hold the weight of the baggier pant.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna put a baggy pant on top of a slim ass Chelsea boot. It's not gonna look right.
Oh man, I'd love to see that though.
So yeah, and then anything that really calls back to like the menswear era, like big like brogued panels or like a lot of the heavy detailing on a boot is also kind of out right now. So the fix for all these, a lot of them anyway, is you just make them chunkier, more bulbous. Slap a big, thick, heavy lug sole or like a much thicker crepe sole. There's stuff that looks like damn tractor tires out there.
Yeah.
Right now. And that's kind of like, that's an easy fix. So if you like the silhouette of a Chelsea boot, there's plenty of options now that just have a bigger, more badass sole on them. Mm-hmm. It looks like they can take a pounding, and they're going to go much better with a wider leg on a jean or a carpenter pant or a pair of chinos or whatever you're going to throw on here. Some type of cargo. And so just the easiest, quickest way to get here is Doc Martens.
Yeah.
Anything from like their classic 8-eye boot to they're doing chunkier Chelseas. They do some of the old, it's like called like the monkey wrench or something, which has a little bit more of that like rockabilly vibe. It's like a narrower silhouette. And
their Chelsea boots are cool.
Yeah, very cool. And let's see, I was just recently looking at.
A couple years ago, I tried to get in on back in because I used to have Docs back in the day. So I tried to get back in and bought just some standard pair. I don't know what it was called. But I got them in, and they are they're so stiff.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. It was too much of a commitment. But maybe they make a softer version with some upgraded leather.
Well, there are various. I know that there are different tiers of Doc Martens, and I don't know. I'm not totally sure which is which. Like, if you're in this 150 range, especially on this colored leather, you're going to be dealing with that stiffer leather that requires some break in. But they have like a range that I think is more like 200. I believe are the made in the. Let's see, like maybe these guys. I believe, yeah. So if you get them made in the UK ones, a little bit more expensive, but I think you're dealing with a softer, more premium leather that probably is easier to break in. Which ones were you?
Those to the left, the 101s. I think that's what I got.
Right here?
Left?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just your run-of-the-mill Doc.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was almost like, when I got it in, it's almost, the toe was almost like a steel toe. Okay. That's how thick it was and how, bulbous, I guess.
Yeah, this is here the church monkey. That's the one that I saw a guy on the gram. He's like an artist. He was wearing a pair like this, but it had some more pronounced stitching there on the side, and they looked really rad. So this Doc Marten, very easy, quick way to and not crazy expensive to immediately kind of like pop into the big boot game.
Yeah. Big boot energy.
Big boot energy. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I like Grenson a lot. That's a brand that I've talked about before. If you check out Grenson, you are going to see some of the stuff that we've talked about that we don't like as much right now, and a lot of the stuff that we do like. And one of the things that Grenson is doing really well right now is this utilization of like kind of the mountaineering lace style.
Yeah.
Stuff that looks very hiking oriented, which is another kind of byproduct of this chunkier boot. That this is, you look at like ice boots and real winter boots, and they're always heavier looking and bigger and made for inclement weather, and so you get that heavier, burlier look, and Grenson has adopted a lot of that for some of their boots, whether it's the Bobby, which is the one that I have pulled up here if you're on YouTube, the Brady, I think. Let's see where we got. Yeah, the Brady is another one that has that look. And then they're still doing very classic stuff like the Joseph as well. But even a boot like this, like they're usually putting like a this thicker sole. So instead of it looking like a dress boot or your Brooklyn bartender with the mustache and the vest, you're getting a little bit more of the kind of almost outdoorsy, like you can stomp around in these vibe. What else we got? The DM Rakia Vet is one of my all-time favorites. This is a boot that I have looked at for many, many years now, probably 5 years, and every time I'm about to pull trig on a deal for them, it's like March, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to wear these,
right?
And so I skip it, and then it comes back around, and they're like,
stash them for the
and they're like, and then they're like back to $400, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for them to go on sale. But this is so I've never grabbed a pair of these, but I have liked these for a really long time, and now they fit perfectly into like
go to the fit
look.
pick. There you go.
Boom. There's some baggy ass trousers for you. What else I have on my list here? Sorel, of course.
Yeah.
Kind of classic maker of winter boots. They'll do some hiking stuff as well as just like actual snow boots if that's what you need. Paraboot is another one that I know is popular and pretty well priced. Again, everything from this kind of like the more classic, like streamlined stuff that we're talking about to the chunkier boots of today. And then mock toes. That kind of falls into the artisanal look.
Yeah.
Where it's more hand sewn, your big swatches of leather. Brands like Yucatan or Quaddy. Or even, you can even find some of that stuff from other heritage brands, maybe even like Sperry doing something like that. But where you get like a mock toe, Alden, maybe. You've got some Aldens here.
But I preface this with, I think I like these. See, I like them. So I get the Todd Snyder magazine in the mail.
Yeah, very well produced.
These have been worn in before they do any of these shoots, I think, and they look so good when they're worn in.
So
any of these, I think, once you put a year of wear, they're going to look much better.
Yes,
that's what is terrifying. Not about these, but the other ones I have on here from Helm, our Austin boys, is that those they're cool, but that sole, I would rather have that crepe that Todd Snyder puts on his.
Yeah, and so we've got three good brands here actually to kind of put in another category. For Helm, Alden, which is the boot maker of those Todd Snyder versions, the Alden plain toe, but it might be. Is it a collaboration with Todd Snyder, or are they just carrying it? And then another high end boot maker, Viberg, which is very popular. They all fall in like this nice middle ground where they usually have a nice heavy sole, but the top is a very versatile leather top, so it doesn't have to be a baggier silhouette, almost like some of the hiking versions where you don't want to stack anything skinny on there. It's gonna look really weird. But these boots from Alden or Viberg or Helm, you can kind of go both ways with it. So they're really good middle grounds that kind of like don't fall into the too streamlined or too low profile category, but aren't all the way like chunky monsters either. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is Western. I told you that we'd come back to Western. So Western is a trend that we talk about here on the pod about like trends kind of like bubbling and then finally like really breaking through into the mainstream. So tie-dye is one that was bubbling for a few seasons before it truly just broke out. Yeah. Exploded all over the place, and now it's essentially anywhere and everywhere, and it's just another color that brands make. Western is one that feels like it's poised to break through into the mainstream for me. There are...
Well, I mean, that is like Double RL. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And Ralph Lauren in general, that's the vibe that he's put out for forever. And I think they've obviously moved away from the prep and more towards that recently. And it just, to me, like, I think that it's such a good look if you can pull it off. you know, and like you said, you can with that ALD sweater, or what is that?
Which one?
The four.
Oh,
pocket.
the 4-pocket.
Is that
Yeah.
considered a sweater?
It's like an overshirt.
It's an overshirt.
Yeah, a shacket, if you will.
Shacket. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm big on shackets.
Yeah.
Right now, too.
You can make that work in a million different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not
out on the range.
I mean, you got shows like Yellowstone, which are really popular right now. You have I feel like I think the pandemic even contributes to this idea of like being outdoors, or of getting away, or of being in your own oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how amazing would it be right now to have a Wyoming or a Colorado or a Montana ranch to just escape to? Like,
that wouldn't suck.
No, you can't do anything anyways. So to be out there on the frontier with a lot of land and space is kind of like a dream right now in a lot of ways.
And you got to dress the part if you're out there.
And so you have to dress the part, and that the Western clothing is just very romantic in a way. It harkens back to like kind of a bygone era. We think about things like cowboys and ranchers. We remember books like and miniseries like Lonesome Dove or Tombstone. You know what I mean? And then the Southwest, it's just a very ruggedly handsome idea. The turquoise and the patterning and the kind of the idea that stuff is made to be worn and worn in and broken down and beaten up. And so just to start high, you've got brands like Saint Laurent doing these kind of like shorter Western boots. I've seen, I won't just go through the entirety of Essence here, but there's a lot of like pointier toes and Western silhouettes. Again, it even falls into this boot idea of taking a Chelsea boot like the Saint Laurent Wyatt and then giving it a Western heel and pointing the toe, and boom, you're into the Western category. Brands like Wythe, which is they have like 1,600 Instagram followers right now, but they were just featured on Dye Workwear, which is a cool blog that everybody should check out. They're selling out of like a pearl snap shirt right now, and even with Howler Brothers, man, like anything like the embroidered stuff, our crosscuts and our gauchos with like embroidery on the chest and the Western pearl snaps and the yokes. That stuff just moves. People are all in on that type of stuff right now. And that kind of falls into another recurring conversation that we have about being able to put boots under jeans. And what I think we've all come to an agreement on is that you just can't go standard boots to make this work. Mm-hmm. That is the real key. Yeah. And so brands like our another local, Tecovas, are helping you solve this problem with boots like the Dean.
Mm-hmm. Look at that, the shaft on that.
Yes. So everything about this is a Western boot, from the heel to the toe to the sole, and even to the shaft. But they've slimmed it down, made it shorter, and put a zip on it so that you can slip into it and put it under a jean. Fry Boots is another brand that specializes in boots and has some shorter Western offerings. And then let's see here. I've made a recent purchase myself here because I had to jump in on this. And my probably my favorite bootmaker right now, Yucatan, which is typically more like mock toes and slip-ons and all that and all sorts of stuff, did a little short Western boot called the Poncho.
Look at that.
And it's again Western sole with the Western heel. It even has your Western stitching detail on the vamp right there on the toe, which I love. It's my one complaint about the Dean from Tecovas is that I wish they had kept the stitching on the toe to really make it like full on, like give it that Western flavor. But here you've got the the elastic, the paneling on the sides instead of a zip. But again, very short. You're going to be able to fit this boot under any pair of jeans or pants you want. And this is just, for the time being, this is actually the best way to do the jeans under any boots you want look, without having to find some like perfection that doesn't exist. That's like a combination of like a boot cut and a slim jean and like a a cowboy Wrangler cut, and like that jean just is very hard to find.
Yeah,
it takes a long time.
That's why I just go with bell bottoms.
Well, flares are.
Dude, I would look like a buffoon.
So we're here. Let's just talk about men's flares right now. This is another thing that like is if you want to get a kid off on Instagram, like flares are a way to go right now. It's like it's an Instagram flex at the moment.
Okay.
But it is one of the I'm looking at the flares right now. I'm like, oh, we're gonna think this is stupid in 5 years.
Yes.
This is one of the
not 5 and 2.
The explore page look with the vintage Carhartts and the dunks and the hoodies. It's fine. It'll age. It'll age just fine. The flares, no. It's not. No. It's absolutely one of these things that people are. And this happens because people want the next thing. They're like, oh, how do I switch it up again? I need to make more of a statement. I need to make more of a swerve, right? Everybody's doing the Carhartts now. I gotta do one better.
Mm-hmm. Flare me.
And so that's how we've arrived on flares. But it's not gonna last long.
No, you're gonna get flamed.
No, it's just too retro, man.
The Club Cool podcast does not support flaring of any kind.
Like I get it. Like it looks when pulled off by like Harry Styles in the right outfit, it looks cool, but it's too costumey. You're never gonna pull that off in the real world.
No, it looks good on Harry Styles because it's him.
Right, exactly. And he's a celebrity getting up on stage singing sexy songs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just.
I wonder what he thinks about the sexy boys of.
Let the celebrities have the flares. About the sexy boys of TikTok.
Yeah,
he probably hates it.
That's his lane. They need to buzz off, dude. I hate those guys.
The problem with them is that you can't call yourself good looking. You can't call yourself cool. You can't give yourself a nickname. You can't like say you're sexy. You know what I mean? These are things that are bestowed upon you. So so the idea that you could just like turn yourself into like a sex pot.
Uh-huh.
What do we call like Madonna? Like she's a sex symbol. A sex symbol.
Sex pot.
You can't make yourself a sex symbol.
Yeah.
That's given to you by the masses, by the people that follow you. They say, "Oh my God, everything that you do and create is very sexy. You're a sex symbol.
It's too sexy."
You can't just get on TikTok and like bite your lip and like do sexy stares and.
Hey man, it's working for them. I'm sure they have a huge following.
What do you do if you're a parent with this? With your 13-year-old daughter that is watching Sway House all day and be like, "Oh my God, these boys are so hot." That'd
be terrible.
You got to say, "No, they're not hot."
Delete that app.
I don't know.
I can only imagine what's going to happen when I have a child one day and they're of the age of social media. What will it even be?
Hopefully, we'll be done with the Sway House stuff.
Hopefully, I seriously think that social media will go away.
Will flop.
Not go away, but I think it'll be a lot less prevalent. I think it's just going to reach a total breaking point.
I would agree with that, except for that it's like. It's all about advertising now.
Right. Yeah.
So the companies are not going to let it go.
Yeah.
It would have to be an exodus of people saying we can't do this anymore.
That's what I mean.
So
then they'll be sucked back in.
Maybe they will, but I mean I don't know. Will they? I think it's I don't know. I think it's too far gone. I think it's basically like watching TV at this point for people.
Yeah, for real.
It's just TV that makes you feel bad about yourself.
See, every time we talk about this, I get so close to deleting and just keeping the business account.
Yeah,
that's where I'm headed.
But that's cheating. You can follow whoever you want on your business account.
I know, but I won't.
Okay, all right. Do we have any closing thoughts today, Phil?
I have a question. Are you going to keep these?
Yeah, I think so. These are, unlike a lot of the 992s and the 99. Phil is referring to the Aimé New Balance P550s that are sitting on the table. because they were, with the 992s, the 997s, like all the other New Balances that are hot right now, those are all usually made in the US or made in the UK. And so they come with price tags that are closer to $200. I feel like for $130, I'll try these out.
Yeah.
They are the green, gray, and the navy pair were exclusive to Aimé. The red pair has been available at some other retailers, and they are reselling a little bit too. So I figure if I wear them a few times and I'm like, I just can't do it, I can at least get my money back, on Grailed or something. But they're interesting. They're cool. I'm gonna try them out with like the green and maybe the cream laces and see if that kind of reduces the heavy golf vibes that I'm getting.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You're
gonna have to try them with some fits.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, they're interesting. They're different, and I do appreciate that. But yeah, that top down look is definitely.
Man, that is bad. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just very. Yeah, I don't know.
That's some dad somewhere has had this shoe.
Well, so the navy pair was my least favorite because it looked too much like you're just like straight up dad a lawn mowing New Balance pair. The ones you get at Academy. So
well, keep us posted.
I will. Yeah, I've actually been. I'm in my Explore page fit today. I've been working on a new location for kit picks that includes both a houseplant and a Turkish rug.
There you go.
For maximum Instagram effectiveness.
That'll really fit right into the algorithm.
Plus I have my ring light now, because I've been doing auditions on tape. So I got a ring light.
You're ready to go.
I feel like I'm ready to go. It's going to have my spot. It gets okay natural light, but really to be full on Explore page ready, you need great natural light. So I'm going to have to try to fake it with the ring light.
You also need to be in the streets.
Home picks are okay.
They are?
Yeah.
Right.
You just need the houseplant and the Turkish rug.
Yeah.
And great natural light. We'll see what I come up with.
All right. Can't wait.
Coming to an Explore page near you.
Hopefully I'm still on Instagram, then I'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Give me a like. Give me a double tap.
Okay.
Go check out Hawthorne. Once again, hawthorne.co. Use that code CLUBCOOL for 10% off your purchase. You're going to like the way you smell. And then support the podcast. Help us keep the Patreon going. It's hot. It's hotter than it's ever been. If you want in, patreon.com/clubcool. We will be bringing back the hotline very shortly. Stay tuned to all of our channels to get that number. And we will see you next week.
Later.
Welcome to the club.